I want to say this about Stonehenge. I figured that it was no big deal because I've been to Central America, Southern North America. I've seen big pyramids. I've seen Latin American standing stones, Mesoamerican. So we said, hey, it's an hour southwest of London, beeline right from where we are, northwest. Let's drive down there. And I see it on the side of the highway. It kind of made it like modern, but the highway is like 50 yards away from it. I'm like, oh, that's nothing. And so we get out, we park. I'm not saying I can't wait to see this. We're talking about, yeah, let's work on that story. We got to meet with these sources tonight. Yeah. And we're walking up the path. Yeah, there's Stonehenge. And when I walk across this line, it's like, bzzz, I was like, whoa. I was like, do you guys feel that? So it's not like I was expecting something. And they're like, whoa, I feel it when they were describing it. And then we went back and came back across it again. And it's like a line. It's like, whoa, you go through it and it kind of feels like freaking you out like a roller coaster, like McAdoo said earlier. And then it's like drawing you into it. And the ancients thought enough of this site with all these hills around it, but it's up above them. It's very magic that they built this there and hauled hundreds of miles, giant stones to build this. And it shows how humankind was imagining something bigger. The human potential to build spacecraft and computers and helicopters and all of this would show the creativity of humans, that they would pick up on this magnetic line and just what the energy of the earth that fish use to navigate and birds use to navigate and whales use. This is a special place because there's hundreds of standing stones just in the UK alone, Ireland, Scotland, England, Wales, but they're all over the world. And people talk about these. David Icke talks about being in Peru at some standing stones, and that all the stuff was like downloaded to him. He was like a major BBC presenter making £1 million a year, and he went off on this thing. The point is that this was mystical. There's no doubt. And I got to tell you, I'm going back while I'm here. I mean, amazing. And they'll let you touch it. You got to like sign up a month ahead, like 30 people in the morning, and at night can go right when it opens and closes and see it. McAdoo. At first I was calling him, I said, do you guys feel something? And you were all the same. Tell people briefly your take on this.
Absolutely. I agree with you. It was magnetic. When we were pulling up, I was like, oh gosh, it's going to be super touristy. And it was really awkward looking because there's these ancient stones on a perfectly manicured lawn, like right next to the highway. So it was just sort of like this cheesy sort of setup.
Yeah, we were like, oh, this is...
Yeah. And
walking up on, I was like hit by a thunderbolt.
Right. And then you just walk up and it literally, you walk across this line and it's, for me, it felt like my stomach just sort of dipped like a roller coaster. It was like...
The most magnificent sights on planet Earth, in my view. I've been here 3 times now. It's called Machu Picchu, which means Holy River. It's funny, when I first came here in 1991 to Peru, my life changed. I won't go into that now because I'm going to go in a few days to the place where my life changed, and I'll be producing a film next weekend from there explaining all that. But basically, amazing things started to happen for me in 1990. And towards the end of 1990, I came across this psychic lady. She said, have you ever thought of going to Peru? And I thought, I haven't actually, no. But the real amazing experience that you have here is not just the view, which is extraordinary, but it's the energy.
And then once you kind of cross that threshold, it was just this really strong force that just pulled you toward it. It was amazing.
And way back, I mean, the Inca apparently built this amazing city in like the 15th, 16th century before the Spanish moved in. But this site, as a site that was focused on as special, goes way back, probably into prehistory, almost certainly so. Because it's a point where lots of energy lines, ley lines, meridian lines, dragon lines, force lines, whatever you want to call them, meet. And if you can access and interact with these massive vortex points where all these lines cross and whip up this massive vortex, then you can access and tap into that power. And so they used to build their cities, because they're you know, saying every Inca person knew all this. No, but the initiates did. And so they located places on the basis of this energy grid, and therefore the vortex points which has this power which they can tap into if you know what you're doing. Because it's interesting that when the colonialists went in, like the British above all, and the Spanish and all the others, when they went into these places, again, they had initiates that had the knowledge that I'm talking about, and they were working with it, as they still are today, the Satanists and the Illuminati and the secret societies, in a very negative way. And so they knew about the power centers, and they knew about the way they could be used to give power to those who understood what they were doing.
It was amazing.
Yeah, no. Watson said, how do you feel? And I said, I feel pulled towards or against. And the tour guide, he was like a professor that goes out there, volunteers once a week. That's who they have each day, as a different professor. He was a professor of Celtic culture, or I guess Celtic culture. And he said, I don't have the gift. He goes, actually, I'm surprised 3 of your 4 group have it. Not many people have it. He goes,
When I saw the coherence between the crop circles and the ancient encodings, I thought, regardless of whoever created them and wherever they're from, there must be an important purpose to these designs. They're so coherent. I've come to believe that the pattern of the torus and the vector equilibrium, especially in the form of the 64 tetrahedron crystal, is showing us how energy works in the universe so that we can learn to align with it.
The work of the spacecraft, and their work is the development of a new technology of light on planet Earth, which of course they have centuries in their own planet. And to give it to planet Earth when we have ended war. When war is a thing of the past, absolutely and totally. When the principle of sharing is governing the economy of the world, the technology of light will be given to humanity and will present us with total, endless amount of safe energy from a mixture of our earth field, our magnetic field, and the energy from the sun.
it's some kind of magnetic thing. But he goes, I sit here. So he was waiting at that point. He goes, that's why I sit here, is to see who hits it. Because nobody tells you, there's no marker. Because you're walking, you're already by it, and you walk by a point, and you go, whoa. Watson, what was it like for you?
Well, it's in. People have come up to me today and said the same thing. When you hit this point, you get affected by this energy. And he was a science guy. He was saying, I'm a physics PhD.
Yeah, I don't believe in religious.
I don't believe in any of this stuff. But, you know, you're the third person today to say exactly the same thing. When you hit this point, boom, the energy hits you. And I expected it to be a somber and oppressive kind of environment because of the druidic nature of it. But it was quite energetic and uplifting, actually, I found. It. And
I felt crazy.
Yeah, I felt the same. I felt the power the same way you did. So I enjoyed. I didn't expect to think much of it, but I enjoyed it.
Were you seething with power?
Literally, it's running through my veins right now.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I'm pretty crazy right now. I'm already folks. Let me tell you, I like Stonehenge a lot. I'm gonna.
Site that was focused on a special goes way back, probably into prehistory, almost certainly so, because it's a point where lots of energy lines, ley lines, meridian lines, dragon lines, force lines, whatever you want to call them.
They are making a replica of the magnetic field of our Earth. Around this Earth is a magnetic field. It's made up of streams of energy which crisscross and crisscross and crisscross. And where they crisscross a number of times, they form a vortice. And these vortices are like chakras. Vortices in the magnetic field. This has been replicated in the physical plane. And with the energy direct from the sun, will give us total, safe, unlimited energy for every human purpose.
Anyways, McAdoo, any other points?
You were like, they must let me touch it. I need the power.
Therefore, the vortex points which has this power which they can tap into if you know what you're doing.
I'll tell them all the secrets.
Now we get it.
Anyways, but your wife didn't like it because she felt like she was being watched, right, David Knight?
I think she was just kind of, I think she felt something different, you know.
No, it's different. I've never felt anything like this.
She didn't say that she got any kind of a good feeling out of it. She didn't describe anything like you're talking about. She was just kind of freaked out about it. I think just kind of feeling the ancient druid sacrifice aspect of it. I think that's kind of what freaked her out.